Hi, everyone. Welcome to another amazing topic of conversation. Today, I want to welcome Linnon. But before we go into a really interesting topic, I want to thank my sponsors, the Health Channel, and the free health telehealth consultation that they partner with Amy. So talking about all the technology and everything, this is a great match because now after the pandemic it was all about teleconferencing, um, doctors visit through the phone, which it's a good thing and a bad thing. But welcome.
Thank you very
so
much. I'm happy to be here.
so Linan, please, before we start, telling me a little bit about yourself, or tell us a little bit
Yes.
about yourself.
Well, I'm Linnon Latham. I've been in the military. I did 9 years in the military stint. I spent 40 plus years in C-suites. So I have a decent background in the executive life. I am a life coach with my lovely wife, Chantal, my Lord. And that's a little bit about what we do. We have several companies that we own, one of them being a K through 12 Christian-based school in Miami Gardens. And we also have a company that I'll be talking about today called Metaverse Education Systems. And that leads us into our subject of the day, which is the awesome metaverse that we all hear so much about.
Correct. And I want to start first with, please explain to me in your words what the metaverse is, because I know we see things different.
Yes, there's a lot of talk of the metaverse, and the metaverse is kind of like when the .NET era came in, and then the internet came in. The most of the gaming community understood what metaverse was, but we didn't use that phrase. We use more of a sandbox. And yes, I'm a gamer. I'm a gamer of 40 years. I love gaming. So gaming the sandbox is a place that you can go into in a virtual world, not necessarily virtual reality glasses needed, but it's a virtual created world that's very large. So you have this little character avatar, whatever the game might be, and there's a lot of interactions that you can have with it, and it's very large. Well, they want to take that now to the next level, of which they call the metaverse. So now you go in with your avatar, and these areas of population are huge. Decentraland is massive. And people are actually buying real estate in the metaverse. And once you buy that real estate in the metaverse, that's yours forever. So the concept is you don't need the game to actually be in the metaverse. You can actually just go into this program on your computer and go into Decentraland and buy a piece of property for $1 million, real money. Real money. It's all based on crypto. And then that property is yours forever.
Okay, so go back a little bit. You're talking about this world, which is, okay, let's call it in space world, right?
Right.
There we can align. Why would I want to buy, why would I want to spend $1 million in a space world?
Well, there's a couple of things. I guess a lot of people have heard of Roblox. You've heard of Roblox, right?
No.
Roblox it's a kid's game. The graphics are very rudiment, but that's what makes the game so interesting. And there was a game that was originally produced to teach kids how to code. So it taught them how to code and created this little character and the movements that he made inside the game. Well, the kids would learn how to do the coding, and then they would learn how to do the coding to a level where they would make a little game. And then so many kids were using Roblox that it wound up being hundreds of thousands of little individual games that you can play, and you play it with the same avatar. So if you want to play hopscotch, you can play hopscotch. If you want to play jumping jacks, you can play jumping jacks. If you want to play hide and seek, you can find a room to go and play hide and seek with other characters from all over the world. So it allows you as a human being to interface with someone using an artificial avatar to represent yourself. And the reason why it's so popular is you get the same effects that you do in real life when you're in the game. So those little endorphin releases that you have when you get some level of gratification, you get those same things when you meet one of your friends and they give you a gift, or you build something, because you can build houses to extraordinary levels in this game. So you build this house, it takes you 3 or 4 real days to do it. And wow, there's my house. You get the same endorphin relief. You're in control when you're in the game. It's your character. And those are the human emotions that it pulls out of you. And that's why people get, involved with these games. And some people actually get hooked on these games and spend quite a bit of time on these games.
No, I understand playing the games and getting hooked. Like literally, I'm hooked on Rumicube. But that is in real world.
Right.
That
So,
is not in a space related environment.
but it's getting to the point where technology is so good, right? That when you go into now the virtual reality world, where you're actually wearing a pair of goggles and you're inside of that virtual reality world, your brain cannot differentiate the two.
Correct. So
That
I have
becomes the
two questions.
reality at the time.
Yes, no, that part, but I have two questions.
Okay.
Will this bubble burst like the .com when it happened in the 90s? Because when the .com and the internet came in and it was called the .com era.
Right, right.
And it totally burst, and then it went down. We understood what happened, and it continued.
Well, there's aspects of the metaverse, right? Because it uses cryptocurrency and blockchain as its infrastructure, right? So blockchain, which is new and is going to continue to move forward, that's not going away. That's like the CD replacing the 8-track. Blockchain's not going away. And cryptocurrency, although it's dropping right now, cryptocurrency is not going away. They'll find a way to regulate it, and it'll be there. But cryptocurrency is the basis of these metaverses. So if you look at Decentraland, that's not going to pop. The real estate is going to become more and more and more and more and more expensive. But it follows the trend of cryptocurrency and basically Bitcoin. So Bitcoin kind of, if you watch Bitcoin and you watch any of the other coins, they all go up and down together. So Bitcoin is like the leading cryptocurrency.
But now Europe is asking for a real regulation because of everything that is happening, and also for security reasons.
Yeah, and there's very few security issues with cryptocurrency, but the problem you have is it's a disruptive. It's like the electric car, and how disruptive Elon Musk was. So cryptocurrency is going peer to peer. You have something I want as an NFT, a non-fungible token, which is a whole nother show. But a non-fungible token, I buy that from you from cryptocurrency. There's no bank. There's nothing. I hold the value. So the banking industry now, just like tobacco tried to hold on to tobacco, the banking industry now is trying to hold on to some level of how do we get in on this? And it's not designed for them.
I don't think that it's how do we get in on this, but how do we regulate it to become a real currency that doesn't go up and down? And the other part that I do have a problem with is that all the security breaches, the hackings, they all ask for, it's like a, how do you say, like a kidnapping.
But it's
Like
the
all the virtual
level of
kidnappings are paid in Bitcoin because it's not traceable.
correct. But those things you can't regulate that away. That you can't regulate away that third party piece of it. But it's 0.001% of the activities that are happening with Bitcoin, where it's almost 14% of electronic transfers that are happening, people are stealing money around the world. So they go into your computer and they lock up your computer and say, if you don't give me $15,000 malware, you cannot do that with cryptocurrency because it's my wallet. You can't get in my wallet.
No, you cannot get in your wallet, but you can get into the computer. Look what happened with the gas. The oil tanks, the company that was hacked.
But that's not how crypto works with blockchain. When oil companies go to blockchain, and that's how they start distributing the oil wealth,
Well, the
you're not
blockchain
going to
is
be able.
different.
Yeah,
Correct.
you're not going to be able to get it. So because it's like I hand it to you and you have it on you. Unless I come to you and take it out of your pocket, you can't get it. That's what cryptocurrency is. So
Okay.
and the thing with crypto, it doesn't need regulation because it's peer to peer, not business to business. It is peer to peer. And that's what the banking industry does not like.
Okay. Can we go back to the metaverse?
Yes. So the metaverse, there's some applications that you can have with the metaverse, especially when it comes to virtual reality, where you now can be anywhere in the world. So at Metaverse Education Systems, we want to take that to the next level, to where you can go into a school, and then we're going to do it with our school, with our Genius Initiative program. You can go into a school with VR goggles, and you can take kids to Egypt. And it's not game level graphics. They are seeing high level graphics. They are in Egypt. You have a class that's doing anatomy and they are looking at a human skeleton. You have surgeon classes where kids are actually performing surgery on cadavers that aren't there, but in their mind, it's actually there.
No, that I agree 100%. That virtual reality is amazing. And during the pandemic, where all the people went to the museums and they went to travel all over through a virtual reality, that is outstanding. What I don't understand is why do we want to play or, well, play, yes, but build a house in space where we just need to go in through an application, through somebody that we're not, because it's an avatar.
Because it allows you the same way people feel more liberal texting. It used to be people felt more liberal on the phone. So if you had to speak to somebody and tell them something bad, it was easier to give them a phone call so you didn't have to be present. It gave you a certain level of anonymity, right? So now it's texting. People say the bluntest things texting. And now the next level is your avatar, because you have anonymity. Nobody knows who your avatar really is. They don't know what your IP address is. They don't know where you live. So people like that level of anonymity, but they still have the human connection. And that's what makes the metaverse so attractive. You're not playing against game AI. You're not playing against shooting monsters in the game or targets in the game. You're talking to a real individual that's represented by that avatar. And
But you're hiding your identity. You're hiding the real person that you are. So I can create an avatar that's literally perfect in a sense. So I created the way I would like to be seen. So isn't this creating a bigger problem on the mental health issue?
I don't think so, because there are a lot of people who are ashamed of themselves that can find solace in an avatar. So I always say everything is a two-edged sword. You just have to find out which side is the sharpest. So for someone to be able to find solace that has a deformity in their body, where it's hard for people to accept who they are because of the way they look, because we're very aesthetic-based society, they now can have an avatar where they feel very comfortable walking into a room and talking to other people, and they hear their real voice. Even if it's a synthesized voice, it's still who that person is portraying and who they say they are. So you still have that interaction. So the same way we went from having to talk to somebody and pressing the flesh to actually being, confined to your rooms during the pandemic and having to see people on Zoom, and now you still have that emotional response you get from Zoom now. You didn't have it in the beginning. We thought it was all going to be lost, but it's not. And even with our children, we thought our children were going to be lost in the pandemic and having to stay home, but that's the way they communicate anyway. They sit right next to each other and text and talk and do videos. So it's just the next level of human interaction and technology, that you will be able to go with your avatar, be who you want to be, portray yourself the way you feel you want to be portrayed. And then that becomes that reality for that time.
Okay, so going back to real life and not the metaverse,
Mhm.
what happens with those kids that created the perfect avatar? They go into this world, they feel very secure. We're still living in a real life. They still have to go back to school and meet their friends or go against some of the people that are bullying them. How do they do that if they're really protecting themselves on another life? They're like playing two lives.
Well, it's not, it's not, it's giving you a break from this reality, right? Because when you have a VR headset on, as far as that is your reality. And they're making suits to the point where you can feel touch and everything. So that becomes a reality. It's not a reality that we recognize, but it is a reality. But it's the same way when you go to a movie for 2 hours. You become one of those characters. It's an escape from reality. Everybody on that screen are professional liars, but it's an escape from reality. It's the same way with the metaverse. It's the same way when you go into your character online, you become that character, and it's a relief and a break, possibly, from your everyday life that you live.
I understand, and you totally changed a few of the things that I have been thinking. So for some people, it can be escape to reality, feeling more secure, but we still need to come back. We still need to face everybody in this reality. So what happens to those kids walking in school? Are they going to be more introvert? Will they speak to anyone, say, okay, I just have to get through this day until I get home and then go into the world that I feel comfortable?
But that's boxing people's lives into the confines that society put on us, right? To be a woman, you have to be this. To be this person, you have to be this. To be the When you're in the metaverse, you can be whatever you want to be. So it gives them a level of freedom. But our consciousness is higher than just our carbon bodies that we're in. And when we understand that consciousness, when we go into virtual reality, we're carrying that consciousness on who we are in that reality. So who's to say which reality is really real? We accept this reality and we accept this time and we accept this space, but
you have real students that go to your school.
absolutely.
So those real students have to deal with everyday life.
You know,
Their
they have 40,
problems, their issues, their things.
absolutely,
So
but
how do you?
you have problems in games. You have real problems with people's behavior that interface with other people in the games, and they have to be corrected in the game, or you either get ejected or booted. But they have 40 universities coming out that will be 100% virtual reality. Because one of the first rooms that I went into in VR chat with the VR goggles on, I went into this room and I just thought, okay, just another chat room where you have an avatar and you interface with people. It sounds interesting. But I saw a portal, this little thing that's floating in the sky. I saw this portal. I went through this portal and I was in a big giant auditorium and there were two avatars on the stage talking. So I'm thinking this is like a game. So I'm walking around and I'm talking, and everybody in the game now, their avatars looked at me and shushed me. Shh. And I sat down and the gentleman on the stage explained, we're from the University of Wisconsin. I'm Professor so-and-so. This is Professor so-and-so, and we're actually conducting a class. I know this is a strange place for you to understand class, but this is what we're doing with virtual reality. And I was in one of the first classes that professors were actually, so I just sat there and listened, and it was phenomenal, phenomenal. So I walked away with the education. I had the knowledge transfer. So that took place in reality or virtual reality. I still had the knowledge transfer. I felt that I was there. It was interesting to be there. So all the human emotion that I would have being someplace was there. So what is reality then?
Oh my God. Okay, so reality. Spending actual money in buying real estate in the metaverse. I know that Nike spent approximately $2 million for
Yes,
a piece of land to create the Nike uh,
and
game
Adidas.
or something, right?
Yep.
But
There's several of them now. They want to be part of it. They don't understand it, but they know it's going very fast and they want to be part of it.
but
The
I
other thing is,
understand that they want to create a park because it's part of a game.
well,
But
no,
with
it's not. It's not. The metaverse is not a game. It has games in it. The metaverse is a place that you can go and you can interface and talk to people from all around the world.
okay,
I don't
so
have to get in an
who?
airplane. I can just go into my game and I can meet somebody from Spain, which I did one time. I met a guy from Spain who made violins. And he explained how he made violins, and it was mind blowing. I just thought you just cut the wood and put, no, they soak it in
No,
all kinds of ways. It was very interesting, very, very interesting.
I get all that, but actually spending money to get a piece of, who do you pay that money to?
You
Who
use
owns the metaverse?
and that's the beauty. There's a bank there's a server that houses the metaverse. But when you buy that land, you become part owner of that server that's producing that metaverse. But and the other thing is there's a whole economic system. You have kids that are upstairs in their bedrooms right now, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, that are making products and selling them online, and that money is hitting their PayPal, it's hitting their Tebex account, and it's hitting their Cash App. So there's a young man that there's a game called Fortnite, and all
Yeah,
Fortnite does is
okay. I've heard
okay,
about it because my grandkids are totally addicted to Fortnite.
absolutely. And guess what? Here's a wild part. Fortnite is $1 billion company, and the game is free. Do you know how they make the money?
Yeah, by
What you wear,
buying these little
the
things.
skins, all the skins, how you look. That's it. And they sell those for $1.99 or 99 cents a piece, and they're $1 billion company. So now you have kids that there's a kid that works or plays Roblox, and he makes jewelry in Roblox for avatars. He makes $9,000 a month in his bedroom upstairs, and his parents never knew about it when he started it. 9 grand going to his Cash App, just making simple little jewelry. So
No,
there's
I
a
know
real,
that they're doing fashion shows and everything. So you're going to tell me that it's not going to become the next reality if, let's say, a woman avatar goes to a fashion show, she wants to buy the dress. So there is an economic transaction,
absolutely,
right? And there
in
is
the
again the
gaming world,
competition of what to wear, how to look. So not only
absolutely.
you have now in your physical, but also in the metaverse.
Absolutely. So you will see very soon, because Amazon's coming up with their own augmented reality, which is different than virtual reality, augmented reality glasses. So now Amazon sends you that glasses, just like they did cell phones, for free. Now you, Gladys, put those on and you look in the mirror, and now you just can click through and you can see every single dress that they're selling on your body, and turn around, and it's just like the Snapchat filters. It looks 100% real. And you say, okay, I'll order this, I'll order this, I'll order this. So there's that this world reality and that world reality, they're already intermeshed as people are just finding out about
Okay, yeah, I think I'm still confused in the whole thing.
it. I
Not
didn't do a good
confused in
job
the
then.
gaming part, and not confused in in the part that yes, it can connect you to another reality. It can make you feel better and the whole thing. But it will disconnect more and more from our own physical reality.
Does it?
Yes.
Does it really? What is your reality? Is your conscious awareness of yourself and your environment. That's your self-awareness. When you're in that game, you have self-awareness. I know I'm in the metaverse. This is my house, and John's coming over with his avatar, and I'm going to interface with him, and that's his personality. That's who he is. It's mind-blowing.
Okay.
But the thing it's going to do, that for me, there's a movie called Ready Player One. I want you to watch that movie, and we'll discuss
Ready
it.
Player One,
Ready Player
everyone.
One. So that that level of technology, that level of commerce, all of that is happening right now as we speak. And I believe that it's going to replace brick and mortar. Why would you leave your house? It's just like Amazon. Why is he the richest guy in the world? People don't want to leave their house to go shopping. Why would I leave if it can come right to my doorstep?
So that means that we're not going to leave our house and we're just going to go into another reality.
I think that's where we're going. I,
Okay, but what
and I think it's
about
going
the
to change
feeling
real estate.
of going into the beach or going into the pool, the feeling of the water, the sun, the sunbathing, all that? You cannot put that in a virtual reality world.
you actually can, and they're working on that. But the other piece of it is everyone doesn't have that life we have. Everyone doesn't live in Miami and go to the beach. There are people who are suffering in the world, and there's more suffrage and more poor people in the world than there are
So,
people with money.
perfect. Let's go there. What about the people that in a virtual reality see the other reality eating and going to the movies or going to the movies and entertainment and traveling? I understand. But eating, if they're really suffering from food insecurity, what you cannot replace that in the virtual reality.
No, you can't replace eating, but you will reach a certain economic level to where that also is out of touch for you. You can't, you have to have a computer system. You have to have so you have to have enough money to have a computer system. So I have guys who do development for me with some things that I'm working on, and they live in Bangladesh.
Yeah.
They live in Istanbul, and they live poor, but they have enough to buy a computer, and it gets them into an economic system that they would otherwise be deprived of. So they make me they're developers. So they do little programs for me, and they get paid. And other than that, they would be dirt poor.
And I imagine what you pay them is 3 times more than what they can get
Oh, it's
locally.
monstrously more. Yeah. Yeah. And they're very talented, very, very talented. So that the use of technology to reach out, like Fiverr, to go out and find a writer or find a developer or find these people. If we didn't have the technology, we couldn't do that. We would be limited to our towns or our general area that we can find somebody. Now it's the world is on the yellow pages now. You can find whatever you want now. So people in the pandemic work from home, figured out that I can actually pay my bills working from home. So they went, why would I go back to work? That's a very good question. If you're a business owner, it really is horrible for you because you can't find staff to fill your restaurants anymore. Some of them don't want to come back, but they don't want to come back is because I'm now paying my bills with my side gig. I'm now going to make it my priority gig, and I'm going to work from home. So that changes the infrastructure. So everyone who's in control of today's infrastructure, they want those people to come back, but those people, they're not
Coming back, no.
But the world has to adjust to that.
So how do we adjust to that, to people not coming back to real jobs?
The jobs are going to change. Well, when you look at Elon Musk and you look at Stephen Hawking before he passed away and he died, when you look at where society is going, all labor will be done robotically very shortly. Very shortly. I will probably see the beginnings of that come in as I pass, but very shortly. So if you remove all labor, the judge is a computer algorithm, the groceries come to your house, the food is being planted by everything is hydroponics and robotic controlled. What do you do with people? Because we created the purpose of 2,080 hours a year. That's your human existence. You are supposed to toil and sell your leisure time so you can go out and get remuneration and buy things. If there's no more toil, what are you going to do with the population? What is the purpose of a human being? It has to be repurposed. And Elon Musk has said it several times. We have to start thinking about repurposing humans' drive from being a worker to something else, because you have to. I mean, it's inevitable. It's going to take over. Coming like a freight train.
So I guess that in a few months you're coming back and telling us what's happening.
Yes, I'd be more than happy to come on your show. I always enjoy your company, Gladys. You're a very bright, educated, smart woman, and I always like interfacing with you in this reality and others.
But in this one, you literally, I'm still thinking of a lot of things. I don't even know the words to express it. But thank you so much for opening my eyes a little more.
You're very
And
welcome.
to everyone, above all, stay safe, and hopefully next week we will see peace in Ukraine. Stay well.
Thank you.